Welcome to My Days of Our Lives official. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Leo and Hattie, whom Leo continued to confuse with Marlena, finished watching Drag Race in Leo's room. Leo commented on how much Marlena seemed to be enjoying the performance. Leo regarded Marlena with disdain as she bemoaned her lack of experience with the program, but then pointed out that they had seen it together before. After wondering whether she had been intoxicated, Marlena abruptly sprang from the bed and declared herself to be bloated from the pork rinds. She informed Leo that she had to go since she had a fitting for the performance the following day. Marlena gushed that she had a blast and promised to discuss with Albany and Kate the possibility of elevating Leo to the position of chief writer for Body and Soul. After Leo thanked Marlena, she hurried out the door and thanked Lenny for a fun time. After she was gone, a perplexed Leo thought about the flashy clothes, junk food, and working on a soap opera. In addition to the name confusion, he wondered what may be going on with Marlena. Afterwards, Leo made a call to Gwen while perched on a seat in Horton Town Square. He confessed on her voicemail that he had wanted to speak to her even though she detested him. He was going to babble on about his treatment with Marlena when he saw Xander across the plaza, looking anxious. But for a little while, Leo forgot about Xander and ranting to the voicemail about how shook he was from his most recent meeting with Marlena and how much he needed Gwen's guidance. He told Gwen he loved her and missed her something terrible, even though he didn't think he would hear from her again. Xander called Sarah when he was at the square but got no answer. Hoped she found the key and didn't lose her phone in the process. He hoped in his voice message to her they were going to miss the final boat journey of the day. He continued. While Xander was seated at a table, he sent Sarah another letter telling her they could hold off on visiting the cabin. All he wanted to do was show her how much he loved her by spending his wedding night with her. Leo approached Xander as he was hanging up the phone, cheekily correcting him about his love remark. Xander notified Leo on his new married status and anxiously told him that he had been speaking with Sarah. Leo expressed his amazement that the nuptials had not been cut short once again and hinted that Gwen would come up. The concept was wishful thinking, Leo said, given how much he missed his old BFF. Then Leo told Xander about how his therapist had changed into Ellie Mae Clampett. Leo started talking endlessly about the Beverly Hillbillies when Xander seemed confused by the comment, but Xander quickly shouted that he didn't give a damn and that he had to locate his wife. Leo expressed astonishment at the compatibility between Xander and Sarah, saying he had assumed their relationship was mostly based on mad sexual chemistry. Leo agreed that Xander and Sarah were a lovely pair, and Xander defended their union. Xander became agitated once again when Leo made a comparison between Sarah and Hollywood stars. Leo wished him luck and departed after he declared his undying love for Sarah and his desire to locate her, but not before playfully offering to take Sarah's place at the cabin in the event that she didn't show up. Maggie called Xander to let him know that Sarah hadn't stopped by the mansion. Xander surmised that Sarah could have had an automobile problem. While driving, Fiona conversed with a dazed Brady in the rear seat. With a smirk, she said that Brady wasn't in a fit state to drive home. Fiona twisted her head, and Sarah shrieked as she emerged in the headlight beam. Fiona lurched to her feet and attempted unsuccessfully to apply the brakes. Sarah was unconscious on the ground, covered in blood. Once inside the vehicle, Fiona attempted to awaken Brady out of fear. Brady merely murmured something incoherently as she stuttered she thought she had struck someone. Fiona exited the vehicle and ran to where Sarah was face down. Fiona recognized with horror that Sarah was her victim as she bent down to assist the lady. Fiona was pleased to see a tiny pulse from Sarah after becoming terrified that she had injured her son's new bride. Fiona got up and moved aside. As she staggered around the scene, she wondered what she would say to the police. Fiona heard Xander cry out for Sarah. All of a sudden, Fiona dashed off as soon as Xander got there. He hurried to Sarah's rescue after seeing her on the ground. Xander was tending to Sarah feverishly when he heard tires screeching and an engine roaring out in the distance. Xander stammered through a series of what happened attempts to wake Sarah. She started to stir, but he pushed her back. After that, he took out his phone and dialed 911. When Xander put the phone back in his pocket, he sobbed and hugged Sarah, pleading with her to hold on. Jack met Chad and the unidentified lady at Kayla's hospital office. After escorting the lady to his family's house, Chad informed Jack. Upon Jack's optimistic inquiry about if anything had seemed familiar, the lady responded negatively. The lady demanded that Chad see the DNA results, even though Kayla had come with them and was about to give them to her. Jack worriedly inquired as to what the test had shown as Chad unfolded the folder and skimmed over the findings. When Chad glanced up, he said that the lady and Jack had a 50% match on the results. The lady stammered out an inquiry about what the findings indicated, seeming surprised. The tests verified that Jack and the lady were father and daughter, Kayla told the woman. Chad looked at Abigail and said, "And that you're Abigail. You're my wife." Jack was overjoyed and reached out to give her a hug, but she flinched back and insisted he stop. Jack took a step back and expressed regret for bothering Abigail. He spoke about how thrilled he was to see his daughter again. The lady retreated a few paces and said that she didn't know any of them and that she was unfamiliar with them all. She knew how they felt, but she thought returning to Poplar Bluff would be best for her. Chad became tearful and pleaded with her not to leave. The lady was informed by Kayla that she was with her family when Kayla came forward. When the lady discovered that Kayla was her aunt, she was even more shocked. She insisted on going anyhow, but Chad said she knew them deeper down even if she didn't identify them. Would she go home with him, he asked. The lady gave a slight grin as Chad swiftly stated that his house was no longer the Boggy Mansion. Chad went on to say that he and Abigail's children had relocated into Abigail's family house. When Chad showed the lady the images of Thomas and Charlotte on his phone, she was unable to identify either of them. The lady shot back at him the moment he brought up letting her see the children. She said that it would be traumatizing for her and the kids. Though Chad attempted to explain the problem to Thomas and Charlotte, the mom was unable to see how the children could possibly comprehend. Chad begged her to go someplace else with him, admitting that she was correct. He wanted just to be in her company. Jack attempted to discuss the Horton home with the lady, but she argued that it was an unfamiliar area and that she would feel uneasy because of the children. The lady looked open to the idea when Chad proposed that they return to the mansion. Chad asked Jack to let the children know that he would be spending the night at the mansion. A call about an emergency at the hospital was placed to Kayla. Kayla promised to provide Abigail a listening ear whenever needed before she went. Abigail was delighted to be back with them, and Jack assured her that he would be there for her as well. After giving him her thanks, the lady and Chad headed to the mansion. Subsequently, Jack gave Jennifer a call to inform her about Abigail's development. Chad and the lady went inside the main parlor of the Dimmer estate. Taking in her surroundings, she decided to focus on Stefano's image. Laughing, Chad said the photo was more harmless than his dad. He said he would see to it that their room was ready, but then quickly amended himself to make it clear they would be sleeping in different rooms. She thanked him shyly, and they remained awkwardly tense until he walked upstairs. The woman's mood altered and she sighed once she was alone herself. Taking one more look at Stefano's picture, she said, "I guess Abigail's home." Thanks for watching. If you like this video, so please don't forget to subscribe my channel and don't miss any update.